Get your hands where I can see them. A police officer is handcuffing a young man on a suburban porch. A young woman is screaming, "Dad, what are you doing? He didn't do anything." But Officer David Carson isn't listening. He's made the biggest mistake of his career, and he has no idea who he just arrested. This is a story about power, prejudice, and the moment everything came crashing down. Stay with me. You won't believe what happens next. Riverside Falls, population 42,000. The kind of town where everybody knows everybody. Or so they think. Officer David Carson, 23 years on the force, respected, decorated. But beneath that badge, a man with some dangerous beliefs he's kept hidden for years. His daughter, Sophie Carson, just turned 22. Smart, independent, everything a father could want. And she's in love. His name is Andre Matthews, pre-med student, scholarship athlete, big dreams. But in David Carson's world, Andre has one problem. He's black. Tuesday night, 7:47 p.m. Carson pulls into his driveway after a shift, and there on his porch, he sees Sophie kissing Andre goodbye. Something snaps. Carson storms out of his car, badge already in hand. "Step away from my daughter, now." Andre tries to stay calm, introduces himself, explains he's Sophie's boyfriend. But Carson isn't hearing any of it. Within 90 seconds, he's patting Andre down, searching his pockets. Sophie is begging him to stop. "Dad, please, you're embarrassing me. He didn't do anything." Carson finds nothing. Of course he finds nothing. So he makes something up. Trespassing, suspicious behavior, resisting an officer. Andre's hands go behind his back. The handcuffs click shut. Sophie pulls out her phone and starts recording. "This is insane! Dad, I invited him here!" Carson grabs her phone, deletes the video, and throws it on the lawn. He loads Andre into his patrol car and drives away. Sophie stands there shaking, crying, watching the taillights disappear. She has no idea that her father just made the worst decision of his life. Andre sits in a holding cell for 3 hours. He gets one phone call. He doesn't call a lawyer, he calls his father. Now here's what Officer Carson doesn't know. Andre's last name is Matthews. His father's name is Director Charles Matthews. Not just any director, the director of the State Bureau of Criminal Justice. The man who oversees every police department in the state. The man who has the governor's personal cell phone number. The man who, for the last 15 years, has been building cases against corrupt cops, and Officer David Carson just arrested his son. Director Matthews doesn't make a scene. He doesn't call the police station yelling. He's much smarter than that. Within 24 hours, here's what happens. 6:00 a.m. Andre is released. All charges dropped. The paperwork mysteriously disappears. 9:00 a.m. An internal affairs investigation is opened into Officer Carson. Not because of Andre's arrest. Because IA suddenly discovered complaints from 5 years ago that were never properly investigated. 11:00 a.m. Body cam footage from Carson's patrol car, footage that was supposed to be routine and forgotten, gets flagged for review. 2:00 p.m. A journalist at the state's largest newspaper receives an anonymous tip about a pattern of racial profiling in Riverside Falls. 4:00 p.m. 3 other people who were arrested by Carson in the past suddenly find the courage to come forward with their stories. Director Matthews never makes a single public statement. He doesn't need to. He's orchestrated everything from behind the scenes. Meanwhile, Carson has no idea what's happening. He goes to work the next day expecting business as usual. Instead, his captain calls him into the office. "David, I need your badge and your gun. You're suspended pending investigation." Carson's face goes white. "What? For what?" "Multiple complaints, potential civil rights violations. This is bigger than you think." That's when Carson finally understands. The kid he arrested wasn't just some random college student. A quick Google search confirms his worst nightmare. Director Charles Matthews, State Bureau of Criminal Justice. Carson's hands start shaking. The dominoes fall fast. Carson is terminated within 2 weeks. Not suspended, fired. The district attorney announces criminal charges: false arrest, official misconduct, civil rights violations. His pension, under review. He might lose everything, his fellow officers. They distance themselves immediately. Nobody wants to be associated with him. Sophie moves out. She's done defending him. She stands beside Andre at a press conference, holding his hand, as Director Matthews speaks to reporters. "This isn't about revenge. This is about accountability. My son was fortunate. He had a father with resources. But how many others didn't? How many others suffered in silence?" The state launches a full audit of the Riverside Falls Police Department. 4 other officers are suspended. A citizen oversight board is created. Mandatory bias training becomes policy. Carson, meanwhile, sits at home alone, watching it all unfold on the news. The man who spent 23 years putting people in handcuffs is now facing prison time himself. That's karma. Here's what makes this story remarkable. It took one man's prejudice and one father's power to expose a broken system. Carson thought he was untouchable. He thought his badge made him above the law. He was wrong. Andre graduated pre-med with honors. He's now in law school, studying civil rights. Sophie works for a police reform nonprofit. And Director Matthews? He used this case to push through statewide legislation that's changing how police departments operate. As for Carson, he's still awaiting trial. Sometimes justice is slow, but it always finds its way home. If this story moved you, hit that subscribe button. We share real stories of accountability every single day. Because the truth, it always comes out.